Okay, everyone, we're gonna go ahead and start the presentation. Are you ready, Joseph?
Camila, I'm ready.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining in. We have Joseph Casal here with Royal Caribbean. He's gonna give us a presentation about what's upcoming, and just let us know about what's going on with Royal Caribbean for this year, 2025. Take it away, Joseph.
All right, thanks, Camila. So, thank you for the introduction. I'm going to spend some time talking about our newest, most exciting products. Since I know people who listen to this presentation might be in different parts of the country, I'm also going to touch a little bit upon where our ships are and the different cruises you can take. And then I'm going to talk about our private destinations. First up, before I do my whole talk, I'm going to show you just a quick video on Icon class.
We about to level up. Too fast, got hot speed, that's supersonic. I never see. Got the bands in the back, all eyes on me. I'm too fast, got hot speed, that's supersonic. I never see. Got the bands in the back, all eyes on me. We about to level up.
Alrighty, so this is what we're most excited about currently at Royal Caribbean. Icon class is our newest class of ship. Icon debuted last January, and it's been incredibly well received by our customers. It's the most successful ship launch we've had in the company's history. It sails out of Miami every 7 nights, doing Eastern or Western Caribbean itineraries, and every single cruise for Icon of the Seas stops at our private destination, Perfect Day Coco Cay. And now we're really excited in 2025 for Icon's sister ship, Star of the Seas, to join us out of Port Canaveral. That is going to happen in mid-August of this year. And she will be sailing 7 night Eastern and Western Caribbean itineraries as well. Every single cruise with a stop in Perfect Day, and that one once again is out of Port Canaveral. And so I'm going to walk you through here Icon of the Seas, and these are sister ships that are pretty much identical. So everything I'm going to talk about here also applies to the brand new Star of the Seas. So these are the 8 neighborhoods, the big public spaces, and let's take a look at them one by one. So Thrill Island, this is for the adrenaline junkies. This is where all the activities are. You've got the sports core, mini golf. As you see here in the back, the water slides. I'll talk a little bit more about them in a minute. But first on the right, you see the flow rider. So that is our wave simulator where you can either boogie board or surf. And we have this across much of the fleet. But then of course we had to bring it on Icon of the Seas as well. On the left, this is an Icon of the Sea Icon class exclusive, which is called Crown's Edge. As you can see, this guy is strapped up to the railing there, and he walks a plank, and then you get able to jump off that plank and swing off the side of the ship and over to the interior. I haven't been able to try it, but I really want to. As we talk here, and I'm going to move fast through the slides because I do got a lot of slides to show you, and I want you to get all the visuals. I've been on the ship multiple times, one time for work, another time for vacation. So I'll try to give you some personal experiences. This is Category 6 Water Park, which is in the Thrill Island part of the ship. It's called Category 6 because there's 6 water slides. You've got the 2 blue ones here are the type where you go head first on a mat. Then the orange one here is one where we put you in a capsule and then there's a countdown and we drop you into the slide. And then the pink and the green are what we call family raft slides where you go with 1 or 2 other people. Next neighborhood is Surfside. And so, as you can see from the images here, this is where the younger kids like to hang out. This is meant to be the family neighborhood. It includes excuse me, Sugar Beach, which is like the candy shop, the carousel, the playscape, the arcade. One deck below is Adventure Ocean, which is our youth program. So for the kids that are old enough to go to the youth program on their own without parental drop off, they can easily come between the Surfside neighborhood and Adventure Ocean as they please. And then the cool thing we did on Icon class is we put the kids pool area in this Surfside neighborhood. Normally the kids pool areas is up on the top deck with all of the other pools, but now we put it here on deck 7, as you see photographed here on the right. And what's smart about this is where most of the young kids and the families will want to be. And so they have everything they need here from entertainment to food. And that means For people traveling without children, those other areas of the ship have less kids and they're able to have a more enjoyable time as well. So we're catering to both audiences here, the families and those traveling without families. Those areas without the kids, what do they look like? Let's check it out. That's called Chill Island, which is what you're seeing here. All the way on the top of the ship, you're looking at decks 15, 16, and 17. This is where the main pool areas are. Let me show you a couple of them here. On the left, you have the Royal Bay Pool, which is the largest pool on any cruise ship in the world. And then on the right, you have Swim and Tonic, which is the first time we ever did a swim up bar on any of the cruise ships. And that's been very fun. It's always very busy. Guests don't have to get up out of the water to get a drink. So you can imagine what's happening in that water. That means I stay away from it. I don't want to know. Other pools not pictured here are the Cove Pool and then Cloud 17 pool up on deck 17. A separate neighborhood that is also that also has a pool is called the Hideaway. And now this area is on the very aft of the ship, with beautiful views to out to the aft, left and right. And this area is unique because it's for adults only, 18 and up, no kids allowed at all. And this is meant to be the more up-tempo pool party experience. It has its own DJ, the music, they do turn it up pretty loud. Over here on the left, I'll use my mouse to show you, we got a couple of hot tubs, as well as a lot of Chase lounge chairs for relaxing and sunbathing. And then over here on the right is its own bar with its unique beverage service. Next neighborhood is Central Park, and this is a returning favorite from the Oasis class ships. This tends to be a lot of people's favorite part of the ship just because it's very beautiful. You have over 33,000 tropical plants and trees that are real trees. And there's a lot to do here, such as restaurants, there's shopping, there's the jazz club, there's music at certain times of the day. When I went on vacation, I stayed in one of these Central Park infinite balconies that you see here on the left, and I really loved it. So these they don't have it's not the traditional balcony. It has this window that you can open up the top part, and I really enjoyed the extra space in the interior of the room instead of having the outdoor balcony. And because it's there in Central Park and we have the jazz band playing sometimes in the park, it's really nice to just crack the window and let the music come into the stateroom. All right, next neighborhood is probably my favorite on the ship. So it's the Aquadome, and this is on the very front of the ship. It's a huge dome. It's very impressive. It's one of those things, you can't believe we were able to put this on a cruise ship. And on the left, we have our Aqua Theater, where we do these really cool, I guess I could describe them as Cirque du Soleil type shows. As you see demonstrated here, you have these two hooked up on wires, and they do this really cool aerial dance routine. You'll also have water dancers down here, but this is a deep pool, and our performers are able to dive off of different parts of the platform, including that hole in the ceiling up there. So it's a really unique show, unlike anything you'll see on land or sea. Then on the other side of that stage of the background to the Aqua Theater, you have this area here photographed on the right, and that's called the Overlook, which is an incredible area. It's very quiet on that side when there is no show, and it's a great place to come to the forward of the ship and get some great views, have a drink, take a nap, play games, play card games, whatever you would like with your family. It's one of my favorite spaces on board. Next up, we have the promenade. Now, we've been doing the promenade area on Royal Caribbean ships going back to the year 2000 with Voyager class. And of course, we have it on Icon of the Seas as well, but it's bigger than ever before because now it's two decks. On the left, you see a couple of guests enjoying drinks at Giovanni's, which is our Italian specialty dining restaurant overlooking the promenade. This round structure here is called the Pearl. It's very photogenic. It's like the Instagram spot on board. And through that little hole there, you would see what's called Pearl Cafe, where you have large 20-foot ceilings of the ocean. And we've never had ocean views from the promenade, but that is something unique to Icon class. On the right, we have on the very aft of the ship is the ice rink on Icon class ships. And here during the day, they'll open it up for free skate. And then at night, we'll have our ice shows. The one you see here is called Elementals. It's a really cool show about the periodic tables with great music. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a big shows guy, but it's about a 50-minute show, and I didn't look at my phone once. So for me, that's kind of the criteria for an entertaining show. And then my last neighborhood to show you is the suite neighborhood. So on the left, you have Coastal Kitchen, which is our our dining room just for suite guests. If you're staying in one of the junior suites, you can come here for dinner. If you're staying in a Sky Suite or Star Class Suite, you can come here for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It has a really cool view of the Aquadome, so if the show's going on at the same time you're eating, it's a really nice experience. And then on the right, we have the Grove Suite Sun Deck, and this is an exclusive area just for Sky and Star Class Suites. It has its own pool as well as its own separate hot tub. And then for breakfast and lunch, it has its own the Grove, which is a dining area with a buffet. I was able to try some of the food there one time when I was on for work, and it was very tasty. So some really nice spaces for our suite guests on Icon Class. Let me go through some of the venues here. Now I'm outside of the neighborhoods. I just want to talk to you about some of the great places to have drinks on board. So Dueling Pianos is, as you can imagine, it's like Pat O'Brien's. Really great entertainers. They go back and forth. They get the crowd into it. This is our busiest venue at night. It's very popular. Lou's Jazz and Blues is a jazz club in Central Park. Saw them a few times. Very talented. It's a 7-piece band. Sometimes they play inside the venue and sometimes they play out in the park. The Overlook, I talked about that. It has its own bar service, 1400 lobby bar. That's the first area guests see when they board the ship, and it's kind of like a hotel lobby bar. Really cool, sophisticated drinks there, and the menu is the history of the different classes of ships for Royal Caribbean. So it's really cool to turn the pages on that while you have your cocktail. Ryan Bean was my favorite new bar. It's located over by the Overlook, and it's a coffee bar that's open throughout the day. But later in the day, they also serve alcoholic coffee beverages like carajillos, and we all know espresso martinis are very popular right now. Bubbles is a champagne walk-up window that's in Central Park. Deserted is a milkshake bar, very popular with the kids, but they do have milkshakes with alcohol as well. And then the Lemon Post Bar down on the Surfside neighborhood. Remember, that's the family area. That's the bar for parents to go and get a drink during their pool day. But also, since it's for the kids, they also have different mocktails that children can try. And here are some returning favorites. So these are venues that you will see on other Royal Caribbean ships as well, and this is what they look like on board Icon Class. Music Hall is a really cool venue for cover bands and rock bands. Point and Feather is our pub. There's always a guitar guy playing there. The Attic is the comedy club. Trellis Bar is a great place to get a drink in Central Park. Boleros is our Latin lounge, which has has live Latin music, a live band every night, which is, you can imagine Icon of the Sea sailing out of Miami has a pretty good Hispanic population on board. Playmakers, I love because I love sports, and that's our sports bar. We do have a contract with the NFL to show every single NFL game on Sundays, so you can imagine that gets pretty crazy. And then Spotlight Karaoke is our specific our venue tailored around the karaoke experience. And then some dining venues, Empire Supper Club. So this is the kind of place it seats 36 guests, and everybody starts, and dines at the same pace. It's an 8-course tasting menu, and every single course comes with a cocktail pairing. Celebration Table is where we do Chef's Table, which is a 5-course tasting experience. But also, you can reserve this for up to 12 guests if you would like, and you get to pick from 3 different menus. So if you're celebrating something special, birthday, whatever it might be, that's a really cool offering for those guests who want a private room to themselves. It has really nice ocean views up on deck 16. Izumi in the Park is our sushi place in Central Park, and then Pier 7 is our specialty dining restaurant that's oriented towards families located in Surfside. These any specialty dining restaurants do have a charge. The pricing can range. Typically specialty dining on Royal Caribbean ships is $30 to $70 per person, depending on the venue. A place like Pier 7, since it's family oriented, that's going to be on the cheaper side. Empire Supper Club, since it's a very elaborate experience, that one's more expensive than typical specialty dining. That one can be around $200 per person. Some other dining venues on Icon Class that are complimentary. So I was telling you, we wanted the families to have everything they need in the Surfside neighborhood. So that's why we have Surfside Eatery and Surfside Bites. The Eatery is like the Windjammer buffet, and then Surfside Bites has great finger food like burgers, popcorn chicken, fries, nachos, that kind of food. And then Base Camp also has great finger food, sandwiches, hot dogs. Base Camp is located by the water park up on deck 16, excuse me. And finally, just to call out a couple of shows in the main theater, Royal Caribbean, we have our Broadway shows throughout the fleet on Icon. We want you to remember it's the ultimate family vacation. So we wanted a family friendly show, and that's why we went with The Wizard of Oz, which is beautiful. People really enjoy it. It's very colorful. The set looks amazing. And then on Star of the Seas, the musical is going to be Back to the Future. So this is a show that exists in London, and we're bringing it over to stateside with Star of the Seas, and that's a very popular movie from back in the day. So I'm excited to see what it looks like in theater. So pivoting a little bit, since I know many different people from parts of the country might watch this Zoom, I wanted to kind of go through some of our deployment here. I talked about our Icon and Star of the Seas doing 7 Night Caribbean out of Florida. Harmony of the Seas is an Oasis class ship that sails 6, 7, and 8 night itineraries out of Galveston, Texas. So if you're in Texas or anywhere near there, that's a great ship to check out. Over the winter months, Oasis of the Seas, actually not just over the winter month, Oasis of the Seas is now doing year round out of Fort Lauderdale through April of 2026, 6 and 8 night itineraries. We also have Independence out of Miami for 7 and 8 nights. Symphony of the Seas in the winter. We'll be doing 7 night out of Miami. And then Brilliance and Jewel are sailing 7 night Caribbean itineraries later this year in the winter out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. So if you're an experienced cruiser and you've done a lot of cruising out of Florida and you want to get to some different ports, those are two ships to check out because those sailings out of San Juan allow you to get to places like St. Lucia, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. So really cool exotic destinations that are different than what you would catch from the States. All right, now the next topic I'm going to get into is our Oasis class ships via the segue of what we call the world's biggest weekend. So Utopia of the Seas is the 6th Oasis class ship, and it debuted last July. And we put that ship to do 3 and 4 night itineraries out of Port Canaveral. That's the first time any cruise brand ever has put their brand new ship to do short product. And the reason is because we've leaned in really heavily to the short cruise market because it's a great way to attract new to cruise guests. People who have never tried cruising, they may not want to go for 7 days, but they'll try it for 3 or 4 days. And it also opens up the ability to sail for the younger crowd. We want young families coming on board. For people in their 20s, 30s, they work a lot. They don't have a lot of vacation days, so it's great to be able to take a weekend cruise that you get on Friday and hop off on Monday. Complementing Utopia of the Seas out of Port Canaveral, this August, Wonder of the Seas, another Oasis class ship, will be doing 3 and 4 night itineraries out of Miami. Also out of Port Canaveral, we have 4 and 5 night itineraries on Explorer. Freedom will be throughout the years doing 3, 4, and 5 night itineraries out of Miami. Jewel out of Fort Lauderdale, as well as Radiance doing 3 and 4 nights. And then out of Tampa, we have Enchantment of the Seas doing 4 and 5 night itineraries. And again, out of Galveston, we have 4 and 5 night on Mariner of the Seas, and that ship was renovated, had a $100 million renovation 6 years ago. So if you're looking for something out of Galveston, that's a great ship. So now let's talk about Utopia and Oasis class. As I mentioned, it's a brand new ship, debuted not even a year ago. 6 Oasis class ships, and here's what you can find on these. These were the biggest cruise ships in the world before Icon came out, and Icon beats them by about 25,000 tons and about 10 feet, I believe. So here are the pool areas on Oasis class. My favorite is the solarium area on the Oasis class ships. It's quieter. It's a nice area to relax. It's a little bit climate controlled because, in the Caribbean, it gets really hot up on the pool deck. And this lady right here has the right idea. You come here around sunset time and you have these cantilevered hot tubs with beautiful views of the ocean all to yourself. The lime and coconut is our bar up on the pool deck on all of our new ships, on Oasis class and on renovated ships. Great area to get pina coladas, daiquiris, frozen drinks like that. Splashaway Bay, we have this on all of the Oasis class ships and a lot of other royal ships as well. This is the water playground for the kids. As you can see, really big, very fun. They can hang out in here for hours. Easy entertainment for the parents. Perfect Storm water slides. About 10 years ago, we actually did not have any water slides on the ships, but our CEO, who had teenagers at the time, realized that this is a really easy way to entertain kids for a couple of hours. So we've installed these water slides. There's 3 of them on all of the Oasis class ships. And then we have a dry slide as well, which is that purple slide you see off the back of the ships. This is, you ride in a sack, as you see here with this little girl. It starts up on deck 16, and then you ride it 10 floors down, and you get off on the boardwalk on deck 6. I've done it many times. It's a blast. It's not that scary. Try it out if you're on board. The sports deck is where we have our flow rider. Some of these Oasis class ships actually have 2 flow riders on them, which is great. That means less lines. The Oasis class ships have the zip line, mini golf, sports court, and all the table games. Everything I've mentioned so far on these Oasis class ships is complimentary, by the way, as is the laser tag experience, which I think is a lot of fun. The escape room now is one that does have a charge. And mostly because you can only put about 15 to 20 people in this escape room at a time, and it takes an hour. I haven't been able to try them, but my coworkers have, and they said it's great fun, very immersive. So just an example of some of the entertainment that you can find on an Oasis class ship, kind of similar to how I was describing some of the entertainment on the Icon class ships. And all of these shows are free of charge. They are complimentary. So, for example, on Allure of the Seas, that ship has Mamma Mia as the Broadway show in the main theater, which, when you think about us putting a show like this complimentary, that normally in New York is going to cost you $100 per person. Blue Planet is another Royal exclusive created show that's in the main theater. And then in the Aqua Theater, which on Oasis class ships is in the Broadway level on the back of the ship, they have Oceanaria. And then Ice Games is our ice skating show in the ice skating rink. Some more entertainment on the Oasis class ships. We have the Bionic Bar. Those are the robot bartenders. Very cool. They make the drinks themselves. You order off of an iPad, and over here on the right, it tells you your name and how long the wait is for your drink. So that's a very nice novelty on these ships. Vintages is our wine bar. Schooner Bar is, fun fact, on every single Royal Caribbean ship, and that's my favorite bar. That's where our piano guy plays. Got the Comedy Club on the bottom. Here's what Boleros looks like on Oasis class, and the Rising Tide Bar, which goes from the promenade level up to Central Park, back and forth. You can ride it up and down. Let's talk about food. Specialty dining, as I mentioned before. This does have a charge. These are some of the restaurants that you can find on Oasis class ships. Chops Grill is my favorite. That's our steakhouse. Really fantastic steaks, especially the ribeye if you're ever on board. I recommend it. Chef's Table, I mentioned earlier, is our 5-course meal. Izumi, our Japanese restaurant. Playmakers is the sports bar. Jamie's Italian from Jamie Oliver. And then Giovanni's Table, which is our Italian concept at Royal. And then 150 Central Park is a really nice venue with American food, but also has some pastas, some steaks, a little bit of everything in that specialty dining venue. Alrighty, so just to wrap up on some of the itineraries I want to tell you about, so where you can catch Royal Caribbean ships from. So this summer, Symphony of the Seas is sailing out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey, doing 7-night Bahamas and Perfect Day cruises. Also out of Cape Liberty, we have Liberty of the Seas doing 4-night Canada cruises, 4 and 5-night Bermuda cruises, as well as 9-night Bermuda and Eastern Caribbean. And then in September, October for the fall foliage season, she will do 9-night Canada and New England cruises. In the winter season, out of Cape Liberty, we have Odyssey of the Seas from the Quantum class of ships, doing 7-night Perfect Day and Bahamas itineraries. So if you're up in the Northeast, we have you covered year round. Then out of Baltimore, we have Vision of the Seas, doing all kinds of different itineraries year round. And then in the fall foliage season out of Boston, we have Brilliance of the Seas doing 7-night Canada. If you're located out on the West Coast, we have you covered as well. Navigator of the Seas is sailing year round, doing 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7-night itineraries. Sometimes there's short cruises to Ensenada or Catalina Island, and then sometimes you have some longer ones to Cabo, Puerto Vallarta. Some of them do overnights in Cabo. Similar itineraries on Ovation and Quantum class. So these are newer ships. Quantum class came out in between Oasis class and Icon class. And as you can see from my quick presentation, we got a lot of great stuff on those ships. So a lot of those venues you can expect on these new ships as well. And they're sailing Ovation sails in the summer, June to September, and Quantum then picks up where Ovation leaves off, sailing October through April of 2026. A couple of more itineraries to touch on. So Alaska season is pretty much booked at this point in April. In case you're looking for something last minute, we do have several offerings from Seattle, Vancouver, and then a northbound, southbound itinerary. If you want to look ahead to 2026 Alaska season, the ships will change a little bit, but we're going to have the same exact itinerary. So if you're looking ahead to summer of next year, we have some great sailings out of Alaska, different ports to leave from, different offerings. All of them are a great choice. And then Europe. This is what the Europe season looks like in 2025. You have Odyssey of the Seas sailing out of Rome and doing Greek island cruises, 7 to 12 nights. Explorer of the Seas sails out of Ravenna, Italy, which is about an hour and a half out of Venice. We take care of the transfers for you. 7 night Greek islands or Adriatic cruises. Allure of the Seas, that's an Oasis class ship doing 7 night Western Med. You can either board in Barcelona or Rome. And then Brilliance of the Seas sails Greek islands and Turkey cruises out of Athens. Alrighty, just taking a quick breather. I'll take questions. I'll keep pushing here. We don't have much left, and I'll take questions at the end. My next segment here is on our private destination. So first up is Perfect Day Coco Cay. This is, believe it or not, the port of call that has our highest guest satisfaction in all of the world. So including Europe ports, exotic ports in Australia and whatnot. Perfect Day is getting the best customer satisfaction scores. Here's a map of what it looks like and everything there is to offer. I'm going to show you some visuals here and take you by the different features, what costs money, what does not, but just wanted to give you a feel for the size of it. We do have trams that can pick guests up from the pier and take them to some of the further parts, but you're never more from this part of the pier right here. Nothing is more than a 15-minute walk away. You have different cabanas that are located throughout the island. Those do have a charge, and depending on what cabana you choose and where it is, the charge is different. And then, but all of the lounge chairs and umbrellas, which you see beach area here, in the middle, up here, all of that is complimentary. Here's a little side by side on what's included and then what has a charge. So we got a couple of kids areas, which I'll show you visuals on that are complimentary. The big pool, Oasis Lagoon, is complimentary. Most of the beach spaces you don't have to pay for. Like I mentioned, you're covered in terms of the umbrellas and lounge chairs. So for charge here, you got the water park, Cocoa Beach Club, Hideaway, and a couple other things. I'm going to walk you through all of these now. So let's start with what's complimentary and free of charge. Here's Splashaway Bay. Really great big water playground for the kid with some slides. I took my 2-year-old on there when I went on Icon last year, and he had a blast. He was there for over an hour, just loved it. He's still not even quite big enough to fully enjoy it, but this is easy entertainment. I would say for anyone with kids under 7, for sure, they don't need to worry about paying for the water park. They can do Splashaway Bay. Here's another image on the left of the slides they have there. They can do Splashaway Bay for those younger kids, and they're gonna have a blast. You got the zip line has a charge. The hot air balloon has a charge. Captain Jill's Galleon is this pirate ship here, which is another little water playground that is also complimentary and great for the younger kids. Here's Oasis Lagoon, one of the largest pools in the Caribbean. This is complimentary. As you can see, plenty of chairs and umbrella space. And then over here, we have a swim up bar. Now let's get to some of the stuff that has a charge. This is Thrill Water Park. Daredevil's Tower is the main tower. As you can see here, a really tall water slide, one of the tallest in North America. The charge for the water park, it's dynamic. So if you go in the summer, you can expect to pay higher rates than if you're going to Perfect Day in February or November. It's going to range somewhere in price. I've seen on the low end, $100 per person to $200 per person on the high end. Here is another part of the water park. This is Splash Summit with some more slides. Here are those, I mentioned these earlier on Icon, where you go head first on a mat. And then here is the slingshot, which is a family raft slide. You go 2 or 3 other people, and it takes you up that part of the slide there, and then down. You see it here on the other side. The wave pool is also part of the water park, and this is very fun for the younger kids. If you've seen a wave pool before, you know it has those just continuous waves, and they love to come in here, jump around. And then the adventure pool is almost like an obstacle course on water. It's meant for kids, but that doesn't stop the adults from trying, so it's pretty funny to sit here and people watch. Cocoa Beach Club is the higher end area of Perfect Day. It's very nice. It's much quieter, even though kids are loud in this area. As you can see, there's plenty of other places where the kids want to hang out, so you tend to not have that many kids. It has its own infinity pool. It has its own lounge chair and umbrellas that are upgraded versus what's on the rest of the island. And then over here is the clubhouse, where we serve an elevated menu. So throughout the complimentary areas of the island, you can find food at no charge. There's buffets and there's also quick snack shacks where you can get burgers, chicken sandwiches, fries. But in Cocoa Beach Club, we have a really nice menu. I've had the food here multiple times. It's great seafood. There's ceviche, mahi mahi, grouper. There's lobster tails, and they also have filet mignon. So it's a really delicious menu we have in Cocoa Beach Club. If you get one of these beach cabanas, the attendants will bring that food towards your cabana, so you never have to leave. Um, we have some that are right on the beach, and then the overwater cabanas. That's like the high end experience, the crown jewel experience, I guess you would say, of Perfect Day. Has its own little hammock, its dining space. This is a shower here beyond this door. Here you have the mini fridge where if you have the beverage package, you can just pull seltzers and beers as you would like. One thing I do want to note that I just remembered, if you have the beverage package on any of our ships, when you go to our private destinations like Perfect Day or Labadee, the drinks at the island are also included as part of the beverage package. And then finally, the last part of Perfect Day I'm touching on is Hideaway Beach. And so just like I showed you Hideaway on Icon of the Seas, this is also an area that is 18 and up and really designated for adults only. It again is the pool party experience. We have a DJ playing in the main pool. And you know, it's meant to be where people go and have drinks and have a good time. Here's some areas inside Hideaway. Slice of Paradise is a quick pizza shop. Hideaway Hut is a place to grab finger food, burgers, sandwiches. On the Rocks is a really cool bar at the edge of Hideaway, right on the water. We have a little local calypso band plays there. They're very good. And here's the swim up bar in the main pool area. Back here, I know it's kind of small. That's where the DJ plays. That's where the music is loudest. Here's another visual. So here's where the DJ is. Here's the huge swim up bar. And so over here is really where the party area is. But you know, as you can see, the pool is very big, and then even beyond here to the right and beyond up there, there's plenty of beach area. So if you don't really care for the loud music, you can get away from it, and it's not going to bother you. So just a quick side by side, because some people are like, "Oh, Cocoa Beach Club versus Hideaway, what's the difference?" So Cocoa Beach Club is all ages, while Hideaway is adults only. Cocoa Beach Club is a luxury area. Hideaway Beach is a pool party experience. Cocoa Beach Club has one upscale restaurant, while Hideaway Beach has two casual food spots. One bar at Cocoa Beach Club, 5 bars at Hideaway. And this is something we're very excited about. So we're opening up Royal Beach Club in Paradise Island in Nassau. If you've cruised to Nassau before, you probably, this is where the ships will dock. And if you're familiar with it, the cruise ships dock and the island is to the right. If the ship is forward facing, the island is to the right, and to the left you have Atlantis. And if you remember, you have this narrow strip of beach that comes all the way up to the left of where the cruise ships dock. That is a space that we have contracted with the Bahamian government to develop into our beach club. And so this is going to be exclusive to Royal Caribbean. And we're going to have, going to be pretty similar to what you see at Perfect Day, although it's not going to have a water park. It is going to have different areas designated for families and then some more for adults for adults. It's going to have this really big, cool looking bar that you see here. Here's another image I have. These are renderings because we're building this now and it's set to debut in December of this year. So this is going to be a really cool offering in Nassau because Nassau, for whatever reason, is one of our port of calls that's lower rated. It doesn't have super great shore excursions, despite having great beaches and great aquatic things to do. So being able to offer this to the guests, it's going to be a huge win for Royal Caribbean. When you're looking at those short Caribbean itineraries that I was talking about before, those 3 and 4 nights, they all go to Perfect Day and Nassau. So being able to offer everything you saw at Perfect Day and then this beach club is really a fantastic overall short cruise experience. All right, and then the last part of my presentation here, I've shown you our hardware and why you should sail on Royal Caribbean, but hey, maybe you're thinking, when should I sail on Royal Caribbean? And so one in every 4 guests on our ships is celebrating a special occasion. And so we're plugging this here so that you come celebrate your birthday with us. Tons of activities to do on the ship, whether you're a kid and you want to party and have a great time in Adventure Ocean with some friends, or whether you're an adult and you want to enjoy your birthday in the casino or checking out some of those great shows I mentioned. We have something for everyone. For birthdays, you can do stateroom decorations for the kids, or you can order in treats. If you're sailing with other people or people can't make it, they can buy you nice things and send them to your room. And then in all of our different dining venues, we have special desserts we can do to celebrate the birthday, and you can also do customized cakes as well. Other celebrations on board Royal Caribbean. So, bachelor and bachelorette parties are very popular on those 3 and 4 night cruises. As you can imagine, bachelorette parties, they're usually, 2, 3, 4 nights max. So, it's the perfect getaway for those types of parties. Honey and baby moons are being celebrated on the ship at all times. I celebrated a baby moon on there back in 2022. Anniversaries, of course. You go out, have a beautiful romantic night dancing, check out some shows. You can do couples massages in the spa. And then also, we have people celebrating graduations and retirements on board as well. Anything with big families getting together. Maybe it's a family gathering. They haven't seen each other in many years. We have the perfect product for them because there's something for everybody to do, whether you're 5 years old or 90 years old. And then lastly, another great reason to cruise is to come celebrate the holidays. So coming up, 4th of July this year is on a Friday. What better way to spend it than a weekend getaway on a Royal Caribbean ship? A beach vacation is perfect for the 4th of July. Halloween is great, particularly with the kids on board. And then Christmas, we do a really nice job with Christmas entertainment, and all our promenade levels on all the ships are decorated with Christmas trees and all kinds of decorations. So that's really nice. And then New Year's Eve, I've been told, is our funnest holiday. I haven't been able to experience it myself, but I really want to. We have really great parties on New Year's Eve throughout all of the ship, but in the promenade area, it kind of turns into a little bit of a mini Times Square with a ball drop, and we do these balloon drops from the ceilings, and everybody's out there having a great time. So if you want to make your holidays extra special this year, please think about a Royal Caribbean cruise. And then my last slide for you guys is to get you excited. If you're excited about the Royal brand like we are, here is what's coming for us. I talked about Star of the Seas debuting in August 2025 and Royal Beach Club in December of this year. Then after that, we're going to have Royal Beach Club Cozumel debut in 2026, as well as Legend of the Seas, which is open for sale. That's going to be the third Icon ship. If you're looking ahead to 2026, you can book Legend in the summer doing Europe Western Med itineraries, or then in the winter of 2026, Legend of the Seas will head to Florida. Then in 2027, Icon 4 is going to come out, and then Perfect Day Mexico as well. That's going to be in Puerto Costa Maya, Mexico. It's going to be, I've seen some of the interior plans. They're not for public dissemination yet, so unfortunately I can't share them. But everything you saw at Perfect Day in the Bahamas, you're going to see a lot of that in Perfect Day Mexico as well. And then in 2028, we have Oasis Class 7 set to come out. So lots of development at Royal Caribbean. We're really excited for the future, and I hope you guys are as well. That concludes my presentation. Do we have any questions? Nothing in I'm checking the chat.
Yeah,
I don't see any
that was
questions.
amazing.
If you
Okay.
do have any questions, I'm sure the cruise.com team is going to take care of you, and they all know where to reach me if they have any
Oh,
tough questions.
Joseph, we
So,
have a question in the chat.
all
Any
right.
plans to sail in South America?
Great question. Not at the moment. We have done some of those itineraries in the past, and to be honest, they didn't do that well, and so that's why we haven't had that deployment for a little bit. So I can tell you through April of 2027, there currently aren't plans for South America, but you can see there we're building a lot of ships. We need to move our other ships around, so I think eventually we probably will look at South America again.
Okay.
Thank you, Ashkay. Appreciate. Glad you enjoyed it.
All right, like Joseph said, if anybody has any questions afterwards, you could just send them through to me, and we'll get you all set up with cruise.com. One more question. Any Mediterranean cruise in 2026, Joseph?
Yep. We have plenty for 2026. Let me just sorry, let me exit and go to back to that slide. So what you saw on that Europe slide before, It won't be the same exact ships, but pretty similar. One second, let me get that back on for you. So we will, I think, yeah, actually, Odyssey will be doing these same cruises in 2026 out of Rome. Um, and I can't remember if Explorer or Brilliance are the same ships doing those itineraries, but we will have those same itineraries in 2026 as well. Allure in 2026, it's going to be Legend of the Seas actually. That Icon class ship that I just mentioned is going to be doing these 7-night Western Mediterranean uh, itineraries when it debuts. Before that, it's Harmony. So that's another Oasis class ship. So if you want to do these 7-night Western Med, it's going to be Harmony at first, and then Legend, the Icon ship, next summer in 2026. Reading Akshay's question. Musician, I want to speak someone royal to see what I need to get in order to get a cruise ship musician gig. Would you be able to help connect me? Camila, can we get her contact information and then send it over? Uh,
Yeah.
and then I can track down who would be the person to that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course I can get Ashkay's info. Ashkay, I'm gonna put my email on the chat and you can just send me an email and I'll get you connected with Joseph, okay?
I see a Camille. The ice skating, when we have it for the guests, is free, and the shows are free as well.
Okay. So it looks like we got everyone answered so far. Again, if anyone has any questions, just contact me. And thank you so much, Joseph, for the presentation. It was amazing.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.